Let's go ahead and show you how to set it all up. So this is what you will see when you open the center console area, which resides right beneath the touchscreen. And you can see the little pad, the non-slip pad there. The first thing you want to do is remove that non-slip pad and just pull it up like that. And just get it out of the way. So there you go. You can put that in your Nomad box for safekeeping, or put it in your glove box, or whatever the case may be. You're not going to need that again as long as you're using the Nomad charger. So this is what you will see beneath that little non-slip pad. What you want to do first though is you want to lift up just like this and disconnect the two USB cables. And once you have those two cables disconnected, you want to slide left on the little bar at the bottom right here. Sliding left will unlock it, and then you can just lift up and remove it. This exposes the two charging cables. So you just want to remove those two cables, just pull up and you can remove those cables. So the first one's removed, the second one's removed. Now you simply want to remove the entire cable just by pulling until you pull the cable in its USB-A connector all the way through the hole. You can see what it looks like on that end. So you do that to the other cable as well. And once you have both those cables removed, just set them aside. You won't need them again as long as you're using the Nomad charger. So put the bar back into place. This time slide to the right to lock it back in place. Ignore the little skin that you see on there. That is something that I did and it didn't turn out that well. So I'm going to do it again eventually. Okay, so put this panel back down. This will allow you to rest the Nomad charger on top of it while you fish the cables, the two USB cables, through the little holes just like that. And then you just want to slide up the Nomad charger so you can allow those USB cables to have enough slack to insert into the USB port. So you can make sure they're all the way in there really good. All right, so now lift up the panel and then insert the two USB ports into their connectors, just like this. Make sure you have both. Now here's the downside to this charger. It occupies both those ports, and it needs to occupy both of those ports, at least on the latest version of Tesla software that I'm running, because it doesn't work without being connected to both. Even though Nomad's documentation says something a little bit different. In my experience, I needed both of them to connect it for my iPhone to charge. So your mileage may vary a little bit on that, but that's been my experience. We'll discuss why that's a downside in just a second, but here you can see when I place my iPhone XS Max on the charging mat, it starts charging. You can denote that by the little amber light there, and the same thing goes for the iPhone X. Both charging at the same time. Nomad says it provides 7.5 watts of power to both devices. So an amber light means the device is charging, a white light means the device is fully charged. The downside of using this charger, as I kind of alluded to earlier, is that it occupies both USB ports in front. And that's a downside because music from a USB stick and the new dashcam feature in V9 relies on one of those USB ports. So here's what happens when I unplug one of the cables and I turn the car off and turn the car back on. The Nomad charger no longer charges either device. So when I plug the cable back in, it starts charging again. So you need both of those cables connected. Like I said, it's a downside because, the USB music uses that and the new dashcam feature uses that. The good news is that there are some apparent workarounds that you can use, and we'll discuss those in an upcoming video. But I have to say, I really like this charger. I was able to charge my iPhone X 15% in about 15 minutes, and that's generally what I experience when charging. Obviously, don't expect super fast charging from a wireless charger in general, and that applies to this charger as well. But the convenience factor, not having to worry about cables plugging in, any of that, makes it so nice. And the fact that the fit and finish is almost stock looking, super low key, it looks OEM. Granted, the issue with the USB ports is a big issue. Like if you want to use the dash cam or you want to enjoy music from a USB stick, you are going to need to find a workaround. Outside of the $130 price, which honestly may be a barrier to some, the occupied USB ports are the biggest issue. If you can live with that or find a workaround, then yes, I think the Nomad wireless charger for the Tesla Model 3